Here's Brody Brazil.
The Sharks are without Brent Burns for the first time in a long time, and I think the biggest absence we could look to, numerically, is like 30 minutes a night, time on ice.
Right.
So is it that? Is it also a bit of leadership? Is it also a bit of identity? It's like what do the Sharks instantly lose about not having Brent Burns? I mean, we know the trade happened, but again, it's one of those things that just hasn't sunk in yet. We were accustomed to it for basically a decade.
Yeah, I think it's both those things you talked about. It's leadership and it's 30 minutes a night. It's the value of him as a hockey player and the value of him as a person and a leader. Now, I know that some people, when you watch Brent Burns play, you'd be like, what are you doing? Why would you make that play? Brent was one of those
stretch pass after stretch pass. But they worked a lot of times too, I
don't think anybody passed the puck harder than Brent Burns.
No.
Too. That's the other thing.
No.
But I was looking at, there was an analytics thing that came out online about if you paired Brent Burns with Jacob Slavin in Carolina, if they can be a pair, as far as their ability to deny the rush, as far as their ability to strip pucks, as far as their ability to end plays in the offensive zone and the defensive zone, they're like 1, 2, or 3 in the league in the last number of years.
Wow.
So, Brent's ability, and how many times did we talk about it? That ability to snake out that stick like a lizard's tongue and get the puck off of the guy. They're going to miss Brent in a lot of areas, but he was the guy that had the most value for the team to be able to make a trade and then save the money, as we talked about.
Right.
So what do you hope happens? Well, you think with the signing yesterday of Mario, yesterday? Was there 2 days ago?
A couple days ago, yeah.
Yeah, a couple days. Mario Ferraro, that will take place of the leadership, upbeat personality part. I go back to Ryan Sten, the director of travel for the San Jose Sharks. Last year, and I'm new back to the team. I don't know any of these guys, and we're sitting on the plane, and I'm hearing Mario Ferraro like this at Ryan Sten, just going on and on and on and on. And I look over at Stenner's got that
even keel, I know.
Even keel, and he's dry humor and everything else. And Stenner goes, he's the new Jumbo. And I went, wow.
For the boys. On the back of the flight.
Stenner.
Boy, that's quite the comp. He's the new Jumbo. Stenner said that. That is that's a whaling endorsement right there. That says
great?
A lot. Yeah.
It was so good. And the delivery, of course, from Stenner was perfect. So you've got that taken care of there. Mario gets a chance to assume a leadership role.
Yeah.
The other part of it is Erik Karlsson and Marc-Edouard Vlasic.
Right.
So let's talk about Erik Karlsson and Marc-Edouard Vlasic. To me, when you look at both those guys, they should be coming back with a chip on their shoulder. Mm-hmm. They should be coming back in a completely different physical fitness state. I'm not saying they were out of shape before. I'm saying that over the last years, and as you get older in your life, you've got to change your training. Last year, Daryl Sutter was in game 2 against Dallas in the playoffs. I did the game on TV. And so I get to see Big D. And I asked him, I said, when did your guys this year get it about the way the game has to be played now? And he went, it wasn't this year. It was last year when we were going home for the summer. I told him, the old days are over. This is a fast league now. You got to get lighter. And if you look at the way the game is played now, and you look at the playoffs, the game is all about being quick. Doesn't mean the physical aspect's gone, but it's not nearly as imperative as it is being first to pucks, being first to get off the boards, being first into the zone, being first in every race.
Yeah.
That's where the game is.
You don't necessarily mean even like blue line to blue line. You're talking about like small bursts and
It's all about
small battles.
Quick, not fast.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Right.
And so Erik Karlsson's had a lot of injuries lately. Now, you can't do anything about a guy stepping on the back of your leg,
right?
But you can do something to improve your fitness level or change your conditioning program so that you don't get the sore groins, you don't get the pulled muscles, you don't get this, that, or the other thing. Marc-Edouard Vlasic's had at least 2 down years. Let's be honest. He's had 2 down years where Marc-Edouard Vlasic used to be Mr. Reliable, Mr. Dependable, never making a mistake, just being there solid for the Sharks.
Right.
He hasn't been that. Got better near the end of the year last year, but still wasn't the same Marc-Edouard Vlasic. I think it's because he's too slow. Now, you can improve that. you can improve that through the right kind of training, plyometrics, explosive training, doing the right kind of weightlifting, being, concentrating more on your explosive muscles, et cetera, et cetera. So to me, if Erik Karlsson and Marc-Edouard Vlasic took a hard look at themselves and went, hey, a lot's going to depend on us this year. So in order for that to happen, and they should have done it at day 3 after the end of the season last year for the Sharks. Said, okay, what do I have to do to be better than I was last year? If you're going to be a true professional, you've got to be in a situation where it hasn't worked the last couple of years. So what do I do? How do I change? How do I continue to push to be better, or be as good as I once was? And I'm hoping, and I'm betting that they did change their training, because they're not dumb. They saw how fast the game is. They're like, wow, we got to improve our speed.
They also know that just on minutes alone, if 30 on one D-man is out the door on every given night, like, you're going to play 4 more minutes every game this year. I mean, right? Don't they have to all? Pretty much. Everybody's got to pick up a little bit of a slack there.
Yeah, absolutely. So also when you look at it, so you're for my career, you're looking at Markus Nudavara, and who good skater, moves the puck pretty well, is never going to knock your socks off points wise, but he's solid and dependable. Matty Benning, I saw in Edmonton for a few years. You know what he reminds me of? Scott Hannon.
Wow.
That's high praise from me, but I love Matty Benning because he gives you everything he's got. Tough as nails, will block shots.
Reliable, though, was that when you said that, I was like, I get that. I get that about Hanner. Yeah.
And Matty Benning, you'll love Matty Benning. He is a gamer who will give you everything he's got. So there's some reasons to be positive.
Sure.
But there's also some reasons for trepidation, looking at the veterans coming back. And as you said, can they handle more minutes? If they've done the right kind of preparation coming into camp, they'll be able to handle more minutes.